It has been another crazy week at the Vosk Coin mining farm. The craziest thing of all is behind me, and the prettiest thing is over there. My car. No, I would never say that. I would never.
You said my car.
That wasn't scripted, that was improv. So, welcome back to the Vosk Coin mining farm. My name is Drew Vosk. That's Alexa, also known as Miss Vosk. Over there, doing her thing. She shoots a lot of the footage that, when you see the cool pan shots, like, that's her. Your boy can only do so much. She's super talented. So, this is, probably the most exciting thing going on. This is an immersion pod behind me. Specifically, this is DCX, and we're just coming hot off a mining farm tour of a immersion mining farm, immersion facility that was built largely around these. So very cool. I'm very exciting. If you went to Mining Disrupt, this is actually the unit that was there. So that's pretty cool. They're based out of Poland. I'm super excited. This is the key thing we need to start our immersion mining addition to the Vosk Coin mining farm. So there's a lot of stuff to run through. If you don't know, I've been following, I've been working on building on my own mining farm. The end game is to power everything with solar, but I'm just working on the mining farm. Until then, we're in, what's the, code name, the field building, because it's a building in a field. I always made fun of towns like Orange, like how do you end up with a name like Orange? Orange is my favorite color, that's why I called it Orange. Well, great. But anyway, I've been working on building out my own farm. The key thing is to mine Bitcoin, among many other cryptocurrencies. Right now, we're in what I call the RV garage. It's built to house an RV, obviously. But right now, it's ended up just, unfortunately, it's kind of like warehouse storage. But that'll be fixed sooner or later. Most notably here, you can see my hardwired internet coming into the building. So I have switched over entirely to Verizon. It's one of the big hurdles I've had. Internet service out here in the sticks. We've got about 100 acres. We have an active farm and an active mining farm. And we live out here and all that stuff. So very fortunate, very happy Verizon basically, showed up and they ran the service for free. Whereas Xfinity Comcast wanted over $40,000 and they have a worse service at a higher price. Honestly, crazy, super happy, super fortunate. And this is where my internet setup begins. My service comes into this little Eero router, and then I've got Ethernet going out, and I run that to the other buildings. There's pros and cons of that. One thing I'm worried about the Ethernet, and I appreciate you guys who watch the videos have been commenting, talking about how lightning strikes could run through all my stuff because of the copper in those. That's something I'm trying to figure out. How can I ground these at each location? There's just always a lot to run through. That is the Bitcoin Supra coming off a fun track weekend. It was exciting. Thankful that I was able to secure second place on the podium in that car at Pit Race, which is a really fun, really cool track in Pennsylvania. I've never been up there before, so it just good time, fun time all around. I'll bring you over here. This is just going to be this is where the test bench is going to end up, here at the field building. Field building is the code name, rough draft name. It's really the Vosk Coin HQ. We're going to do all kinds of stuff in here, including, test miners, rebuild them, fix them, whatever. So I've got the KS1 down here, and then I have the KS0 and the Jazzminer X16Q up here. So video reviews just recently came out on that. So, I'm pursuing, huge mining endeavor, but we're also going to keep trying to make the best Vosk Coin videos that we possibly can. So visually, I'm going to take you upstairs, but secretly, physically, I'm going to be walking over to the other side of the mining farm. So upstairs right now is still the hard drive mining operation. Even though the hard drive mining shed has been good to go, it's been operational, there's been one big hiccup. I just feel stupid, really a mistake. Basically, I did not buy the low ambient mini split models, which, to put that simply, they're like data center grade. They can cool in the winter. And what good is that, right? Well, it's really important because I don't want to cut vents into the hard drive mining shed. And the hard drive mining shed is a dedicated deployment to hard drive miners. and I kind of got off topic. Let me walk upstairs. These are the hard drive miners. We got 4 Evergreen Starter Kit Pros, and I've got the big Juicy miner, and I just put in an order for another Evergreen miner, and I'm really going all in on the hard drive mining operation and endeavor. On paper, you run the numbers, and if you believe in Chia XCH, which is the coin I'm mining, or really technically they call it farming. As we stand out here in a soybean field, I farm, I get it. That you might as well buy the coin. I mean, yeah, you can go about that route, but I'm not just, looking at this as just a simple this many dollars for that many dollars. I like this hardware. It has advantages from a business point of view. Furthermore, this hardware, has a tangible value now. It'll have a tangible value in 5 years. What that is, TBD, right? But the bottom line is that I'm getting very serious, obviously, with the hard drive mining endeavor. At the beginning of the last month, I had less than 1 petabyte, and coming into this month, I have an entire petabyte, and so that starts to be, so I'm approaching 100 hard drives, 16, 18 terabyte capacities. And by the end of the year, I plan to at least have 2 petabytes deployed. I've got the HVAC mini split running right now, so it's nice and cool in here. I've just been doing the testing. All the units are going to be moved over, but I was talking about low ambient model, this, that, whatever. The big takeaway is that I'm going to pull one of these models off that cannot cool in the winter. I'm going to put that in the field building and pursue, a small level of finishing that, and install a low ambient model on this so that I can cool all the time. I don't want to get too far off topic into the weeds and all that stuff, but basically that's the gist. So if I can cool this 24/7, 365, that I don't have to cut in a vent and basically use outside air to cool the inside, and that should give me the just absolute cleanest environment that I can possibly get. You may also notice something new and exciting here. I have a new panel, a new standoff service. So I'm working with my electric company to pull another 400 amps of single phase electricity out here. This is very important. This is critical because I will use 200 amps to be dedicated to power the hard drive mining shed, and 200 more amps to hopefully power a new plug-and-play Bitcoin mining container. And I'm not talking about the Digital Shovel M300 mini pod. So let's talk about that, because that's pretty much the gist of the hard drive situation, operation. I should have something I'm really proud of. I think our team is doing a great job, because Vosk Coin is much bigger than just me now. As I try to just pursue all these crazy things, it's just way too much for one dude, right? Check out this graphic. These are our monthly numbers. It's so cool when you hit a block when you're farming Chia, because you just get straight up bonus rewards, and it's something like I'm very proud of. Nothing's cooler than like me being the one to solve the block, to move the blockchain. Like, I am running the blockchain if I solve the block, essentially, node aspects taken out of it, whatever. It's just really freaking cool. But let's bring it to the Digital Shovel Mini Pod M300. Okay, so this thing at a glance is very cool. It's very unique looking. It's fun, right? I've had some hurdles deploying this on single phase. This is a prototype unit, all that stuff. But I couldn't be happier and more thankful working with Digital Shovel, with especially Dennis and Colby at BMA Enterprises. Okay, they helped me get this thing situated. It is fully operational. It is fully functional. We are operating the equivalent of 24 miners in there right now, and it's actually pushing us on paper a little bit over, or not on paper, it's quite literally a little bit over the recommended capacity with my meter base. Even though I have a 400 amp service, they call them 320 amp meters. So I should be good. I'm pulling like 320 to 340 amps. I'm running all 4 fans now to get a much cooler environment inside. I mean, and trust me, it's a lot of airflow. We just recently replaced the air filters. We also had a faulty breaker on one of the service panels. So that was replaced. Each service panel has a dedicated 200 amps. And these 200 amps basically feed each side, each PDU in the pod. I've had the best uptime with this that I've ever had, and
What's it thinking, Colonel?
And to be frank, I'm just thrilled. Full disclosure is that Digital Shovel did give us this pod to review. And if you've been following the videos, you know that I've been talking about the ups and downs. Some of the hurdles I have hit have been unique to this prototype, and he has moved away from this design as he pursues the nanopod, which is basically built to kind of fill this gap with single phase electricity, smaller residential mining, but you can also flip it over to 3-phase with this new PDU design. A lot of people ask, how loud is it? Well, let me take you on inside. Yeah. It's very loud. This is damaging my hearing. Don't do this at home, kids. That's what they told us on TV, and then we turned around and we did it at home. Let's get out of here. Wow, that's loud. So it's huge. I'm thrilled that I'm able to get that, back online, and I couldn't be any more thankful for all the parties involved to help me. And all of you guys that chimed in with good ideas and suggestions and just even tried, in the video comments on YouTube, in the VoskCoin Discord server, or on the VoskCoin Talk forum. I mean, seriously, thank you. I really cannot understate, how much you all help me. It's incredible. So, moving on to the next building, next deployment here. That is so hot, and it's not really even doing anything. This is the mining shed. I've been going back and forth with a lot of things. I stole power from this to get the hard drive mining shed online and operational. So this service is basically necessary long-term, but optional in the short term. But I just wanted to, basically hit the ground running and be operational and not be at the mercy of an electric company or anything like that to, get my gear online whenever the hell they want to get out here and, do their piece, finish their leg of the race. In the mining shed, I've been going back and forth. The original plan was air-cooled. My air-cooled operation was, to be honest, in shambles. And then I was like, well, I should air-cool this. And now I got the DCX gear in. And, it's really just going to be a matter of what I want to deploy, where, everything like that. Smart light, this thing's cool. But, when you step in here, you realize, unfortunately, it's not done. It's not finished. I pulled the electricity to do all this a long time ago. And I think that's why it's probably really well suited to basically just deploy Immersion in here. And if I deployed Immersion, right, what they call pods or cells from some of these different companies, I could pretty much deploy 3 of them. I'll end up with around 24 miners. And that's going to be basically you think of how many miners I've got deployed in the pod, but now they're all in a liquid. So thinking about the next steps and what I want to do, one thing I really want to do is figure out what's the best mining shed that we can build with 200 amps in mind and then also 400 amps in mind. I'll probably do a 400 amp deployment as a proof of concept and put that out here. I don't really know, I'm not trying to seem ridiculous, but I want to create a setup that's plug and play and people can copy and paste. And I'm trying to work with a company to make fan shrouds, to supply the fans, and basically, for a very competitive price, and engineer data. We're talking real data. This works because of this XYZ, and then bam, you can deploy the VoskCoin version of this mining shed. It's not about me or my name or anything like that. I just want to make this more accessible. I want to help decentralize mining. I want more people doing this, and I especially remember when I started the VoskCoin YouTube channel, they're like, dude, stop talking about mining. Why do you want more people to get into this? I'm like, dude, more people that get involved, more decentralized these networks are, anti-fragile, baby, more participants, and it makes it stronger, and that, inherently, by the nature of that, makes it more valuable. So this isn't something we all have to hide around and safeguard. We should tell everybody and try to get them involved because it's incredible. And we're putting power back in the hands of the people. We're decentralizing money among many other things. So especially given the design of this, kind of in retrospect with what I wanted to do, in a way it's oversized. And the way it's already ran, and I made a mistake running the electricity and having the wire come through the middle of the building. So it actually just might make a lot more sense to run a dry cooler, which is that big fan thing you saw with that immersion cooler I got, and then make that an immersion shed, right? And drop a proof of concept over here. In a way, it's a kind of a waste of money. There's other ways I could maybe try to go about it. but everything is like very specific. It's very dedicated. Like the hard drive mining shed is a field office. It's got AC. It's 100% clean environment. No outside air, no ambient air, and it's perfectly suited. It's a server room. I will deploy a server in there, right? And then if I don't cut holes in that, maybe just, you know, one fan with one filter, and, you know, just get some airflow so that it just doesn't absolutely, I mean, I'll need to do something like that so it just won't incredibly super bake. And then you have the pod, a plug and play Bitcoin crypto mining farm. And so I think, you know, try to just design the best mining shed absolutely possible at the best price. I mean, what does that look like? How do you do that? You know, that's the dream with, you know, maybe one of the next steps. Obviously, I want to take this field and deploy a whole lot of solar panels. But again, you know, that's one of the top questions I'm getting is when solar, where solar. That's just, you know, coming soon-ish, medium term, down the line. You know, it's capital heavy. I've been, you know, constrained, unfortunately, due to, you know, the bear market and just some things not going great. And, you know, I've talked about it before, but some of the companies that went bankrupt have really put me in a very bad situation with basically what's the Vosk Coin war chest. And so I'm trying to get through that, see how these things play out, and pretty much go from there. It's not a perfect story. It's not a fairy tale. Nice! There goes Alexa. What is she doing? Where's she going? So yeah, it's been a crazy week in the mining farm. Even since like my last update, a lot of things have changed. You know, again, the last thing I talked about was incredible. We were able to basically fix the pod, get that operational. The most recent thing is just a day ago, I took delivery of the Immersion mining equipment. I continue figuring out like what's next, where do I go, working on the plan. The breaker was just replaced on the pod unit. There's two on there, one was, and that seems to be unrelated to everything. It was just faulty, to put it simple. The service panel, like I said, on the hard drive mining shed just went up this week, and I'm going to be swapping in the proper mini split HVAC unit for the hard drive mining shed in just a couple of days. It pretty much looks the same. It's a similar Daikin unit, but it's just rated to do what I need to do. I'm just going to run the wrong unit that I bought that cannot run under 50 degrees Fahrenheit, basically in all the hot months, and I'm just going to run the other one in all the cold months and just go from there. I mean, it sucks. It's an expensive mistake. I'm going to try to kind of cut my loss, eat my loss by reutilizing that unit to get some HVAC and capabilities at VoskCoin HQ. It's undersized for what I want to use it up there for. But hey, I mean, it's just the way it goes. It's a learning experience. I'm doing a lot of things I've never done before. You know, some people are so quick to like, you know, be mean or ridicule or whatever online, but honestly, like nothing helps me more than just like constructive criticism, feedback, good input, ideas, whatever, like in the video comments. I'm not just like fishing for engagement, like being all YouTubey or whatever. Like I really cannot understate, like I love the Vosk Coin community. We're like, they're the coolest in the world ever, and like the sum of the Vosk Coin community is so much more valuable than just me, and I recognize that and I respect that, and that's so freaking cool. And above all, I lean on that, and I thank all you guys who help and tune in, and even just supporting the channel just by simply watching this video. I mean, we'll see where I am in a few years. You know, I feel like I just never get enough done in a week, but I'm just like, I'm working all the time, and I'm trying to restore a little bit of work-life balance. I don't want life to blaze by me. You know, I couldn't care any more about Tails. I try to dedicate a lot of time to just spend, like, my time just spending it with Tails, because unfortunately, like, our lifespan is longer than dogs. And one day, the worst day of my life is gonna come. And you know, I want to play with my pup before then. She's already 7 years old. It's crazy. Time really goes by. I'm thankful she's here though, because you know, if you're a Vosk Coin OG subscriber, you'll remember when she almost died. That was just awful. That was rough. But I couldn't be more thankful that we came out on the other side. It's all you can ever ask for in situations like that. So, you know, for me, I'm just gonna keep plugging along. I've also been investing a lot of time, money, and effort into a new video series that revolves around staking, nodes, deploying your capital, liquidity mining, liquidity positions and things like that. And I'm not talking like some, you know, high speed overnight plays. I'm talking things that I'm setting up. I'm gonna let them run for a long time, months, which is like a very long time in cryptocurrency, years perhaps. You know, I'm here to party. I'm here to let it ride. So I mean, that's really all I've got right now. Working on kicking the mining farm tour series back online, you know, as especially just emphasized with the Immersion mining farm tour. That was a really cool opportunity, and surprisingly, of all things, local. And I don't know if anybody really cares about this, but I've been working on separating the pieces of the Vosk Coin business into separate businesses to really kind of tighten up everything and just have it make sense. And that will help us scale. That will help us do more. That will help just, you know, yeah, above all, make taxes not such a nightmare. I spend so much time with my tax guy. It's ridiculous because crypto is difficult, confusing, and just a lot of things that are taxable transactions. I don't agree with taxes for 1 second, but you know, I have to pay them. I have to deal with them. I have to navigate that. You know, it's just the way it goes. And then finally, we've been working on building some really cool things. One thing I really want to do moving forward is just work on like tools. Right? Like what can VoskCoin create that would be helpful to say like all miners, right? And then, you know, kind of branch out from there. The VoskCoin Talk forum is, you know, a basic iteration of like try to make something that the community can use and find value. And then, you know, it's searchable, SEO optimized, so it picks up Google results and just tries to, you know, help and live beyond, you know, its immediate user base. But I want to create tools that, you know, are excellent specialized data aggregators that will help everyone make just better decisions, more informed decisions, just useful stuff. I just want to make some cool shit before I die. Is this so much to ask? But speaking of that, if I don't stop, I'll just keep talking until either I die or this battery dies. So on that note, I'm gonna head out. Thank you so much for watching. What the hell is this? That's my new move. It sucks, but that's the only move they had left. That's why they don't have me on Fortnite. I can't do the dance. But anyway, I'm done. Starting to sound ridiculous. Thank you for watching, tuning in, and that's the latest at the Vosk Coin mining farm. And as we approach the end of 2023, I'm happy with the progress. I'm proud of everything, but it's not enough. And I've still got idle hardware, and that is a losing equation. And I'm gonna play till I go broke, or I win. That's the only way to live.